those risks through active management. It's a long-term commitment.
Visit workingforesinitiative.com to learn more.
I turned off news altogether.
I hate to say it, but I don't trust much of anything.
It's the reach gate.
It feels like it's trying to people.
We got clear facts. Maybe we can calm down a little.
NBC News brings you clear reporting. Let's meet at the facts. Let's move forward from there. NBC News, reporting for America.
Tired of spills and stains on your sofa? Wash away your worries with Anabay. Anabay is the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly prices. That's right, sofas start at just $699. Enjoy a no-risk experience with pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slip covers made with performance fabric. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Shop WashableSofas.com for early Black Friday savings, up to 60% off site-wide, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
With Black Friday savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to 40% off, plus up to an extra $1,000 off select appliances like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances. Check out the newest LG refrigerator with new mini craft ice straight from the dispenser. Shop Black Friday savings on select LG appliances, plus get free delivery now at the Home Depot. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $396 or more. Offer valid 11/5 through 12/3. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Welcome to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. Now get ready for Strange Things with Joshua P. Ward.
Welcome to our podcast. Please be aware that thoughts and opinions expressed by the host are their thoughts and opinions only and do not reflect those of iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio, Coast to Coast AM, employees of Premier Networks, or their sponsors and associates. We would like to encourage you to do your own research and discover the subject matter for yourself.
And these have always been represented with the color parts of the body resonate at different frequencies. So these 7 crucial points on the body, called the points of the chakra. In Sanskrit word, that means wheel of energy or portal of energy. And if we have these portals of energy that are distinctive to different parts of the body, then it would make sense that if one could see that energy, then one would actually perceive it as a color, because you see a color as a color because of its frequency. If something has a higher frequency, it looks closer to purple.
Thank you.
If it has a lower frequency, it looks purple, closer to red. Kind of in the middle, you have green, and so forth. And you may think I'm nuts, that's all right, but I was born with a natural ability to see the human aura. And I think it's possible that most people can do this. I have trained over the years, and it's not something that is there all the time. I can kind of turn it on and off at will. It's better if you practice it for a while. But basically, I can look at a person and get to a certain state in which I can see colors around the person's body. And in fact, I always say that you can make a pair of training glasses that will help you do this with your eyes for next to nothing, for probably like $1 or $2. And if you sign up for my free e-newsletter at joshuapwarren.com, then that's one of the goodies you get. I send you a link with instructions on how you can make those and train your eyes. A lot of people can see the aura within minutes. You'd be surprised. So I really am, I'm a big fan of this idea of the chakras and how that the energy points of the body that are vibrating at different rates can be represented by these different colors. And if you want to get even more specific, okay, red traditionally is the color that's used to address the root chakra, which applies to vitality, willpower. You would work with that color to overcome lethargy or stagnation. Or orange, the sacral, you would work with that color to enhance things related to creativity or emotional balance or overall joy, to get inspiration. Yellow, you'd work with that for mental clarity, focus. I mean, there's a chart, I'm looking at it right now, which breaks down what you could do with these different colors if you work with them, if you start learning about the chakra. And I have talked at length about the chakra on at least 2 episodes of the show, so I'm not going to spend much more time talking about that. But if you were interested in this topic, go back and listen to episode 22. That was a long time ago. And that episode is titled 3-Minute Monk Secret plus Chakras. And then also I talked about it in episode 155. And that episode is called Orgone, Chakras, and the Master Manifestor Kit. So there is this whole world that can be tapped into by not only using light, but using colors of light. And not too long ago, I had Dr. Mulder, who makes the wishing machines, on this program. He and I have been working together for a long, long time, well over 15 years, on various projects, and the wishing machine project in general. But less than a year ago, he created his version of a machine that is kind of a mythical machine. We've heard that it's been out there sort of in the underground amongst sorcerers and magicians and manifestors going back for at least decades. You could even say all the way back to the beginning of, like ancient candle magic, but people who would use a machine called a tepaphone. And it's basically, in my opinion, the simplest wishing machine ever made. It's a box that has a switch and a light plate on it, and a special circuit inside, and you take what you want to manifest. You represent it on a piece of paper, for example. You put it on top of the light, and then you switch it on, and when the light comes on, it acts as what they say is a carrier wave, and it literally carries, it's that programmed light carries your intention off in order to start working on your manifestation. I talked about this at length on episode 241 of this podcast called Strange Things. Episode 241 is called What the Heck is the Tepaphone? And Candle Magic. And by the way, when I say tepaphone, it's spelled T-E-P-A. That's P as in Papa. T-E-P-A-P-H-O-N-E. So go back and listen if you haven't heard it to 241, episode 241. So yes, I call the tepaphone the simplest wishing machine ever made. Tons of people bought one of Dr. Mulder's tepaphones and started experimenting, and you would not believe the amount of positive feedback that we've gotten from all over the world. At some point, I'm just going to sit down and just start reading the you need is just that basic Tepaphone. However, there have been people who have been saying for a long time that wouldn't it be amazing if you could have a Tepaphone that had an adjustable light, so that you could literally take it and make that light any color you want, so that you could start projecting it and using it with the chakras and similar things. And this is something that you would especially be interested in if you wanted to direct energy to yourself or to someone else to work with that person's chakra. And you know, when it comes to how this could be sort of how this could help you, let's put it that way. Okay, so like I say, let's say red is a low frequency, purple is a high frequency, and then you have all these traditional colors associated with each of these 7 points. Well, think about a guitar for a moment. Think about the strings on a guitar. If just one string on a guitar is out of tune, the entire chord sounds bad. So think of your chakra points like 7 strings on a guitar, and they all need to be in tune in order for your body's energy to be in harmony and feel right. So you line these up and you work on the one that may be out of tune. And when we come back from this break, I'm going to bring Dr. Moeller onto the show, and he's going to tell you about his new creation. He has taken this Tepaphone to the next level and created one with an adjustable light. It's called the Chakra Spectrophone. I've been using it, and it is amazing. You will learn all about it soon. And if you like this show, go to joshuapwarren.com. Click the link to the Curiosity Shop. Buy something cool for yourself or a loved one. Do some Christmas shopping, whatever, birthday shopping. Yeah, but like I was saying, be sure to sign up for my free and spam-free e-newsletter right there on the homepage, so you will get my instant automated email with some free online goodies that will help you start manifesting things that will blow your mind right away. That's joshuapwarren.com. I am Joshua P. Warren, and you are listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. And I'm back here.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. Anime sofas combine ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. Anime has designed the only fully machine washable sofa from top to bottom. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anime has you covered. Visit washablesofas.com to book your home. Sofas start at just $699. And right now, get early access to Black Friday savings up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop
Right, and an output plate, but it has 3 knobs. And one knob says red, and the other says blue, and the other says green. And as you turn each of these knobs, you mix these colors. And a bulb under the output plate changes with enormous nuance. So you can fine tune it to just any color you want, any slight shade of color that exists in the spectrum. It's so much fun to play with. And one thing that I love especially about his devices is that anything that he comes out with that's a new type of device can easily be incorporated with all of his other creations. I mean, for example, right now I have my Tepaphone sitting there working quietly in the corner on a financial project that I have in the works. And then I have my Chakra Spectrophone sat there with the light tuned to a particular chakra on my body that I'm trying to work on right now. And I could just as easily be doing this for someone else as well, because you put what you want on that input plate. But yeah, all his stuff fits. You can use it all together, and it just keeps building and building and growing and power. It all works together. And if you want to see video of this, because I'm about to bring him onto the show so you can hear how he describes this technology, go to thetepaphone.com. That's Tepaphone is spelled T-E-P-A, P as in Papa, thetepaphone.com. And also, if you have trouble with that, just go to joshuapwarren.com and you'll find a link to it in the Curiosity Shop. Go to the Tepaphone page, scroll down, and you will see brand new material there. It says the Chakra Spectrophone, and there is an instructional video there. There's an animated GIF that shows it in action. There's a very valuable chart that shows thinks it's cool just to go there and look at the information. But anyway, you get the idea, I think. So now let's hear directly from him about why he made this, how he thinks it works, and some examples of what he's been doing with it and just how powerful this thing is. So here we are. Here's my recent call with the one and only Dr. Mulder. I call the Tepaphone the simplest wishing machine ever made, and this is, I think, kind of Tepaphone 2.0. So for those who may be new to the show, Dr. Mulder, please explain what a Tepaphone is in a few sentences.
Well, of course. A Tepaphone, it has a sort of a legend behind it. Back in the 40s and the 50s, I think there was a lot of rumors about this being used by magicians, for example, and they would use a oil lamp with a slide in front of it projected toward the target. Well, what they were doing is they were using light as a carrier wave. That's exactly as simple as that. They're using light as a carrier wave, and as a result of that, they noticed they were getting great results from this. And so there's been a lot of operations, and if you look at the history of radionics, where they are using light or colored light in operations. And I've done a lot of research on this and consulted with some what I consider the best or the highest achievers when it comes to radionics in this wonderful world of radionics. And so, and I've had people, and I asked them, I said, of all the machines I built for you, what is the best machine, or what is your favorite machine in the two album, in which I trust their judgment? They said it's the Tepaphone. And then I asked them why, and I felt, okay, this is the universe telling me, hey, Dr. Mulder, you need to up your game one more time. I know you have OCD, you need something to do. So here we go. So I went ahead and kind of dusted off the old plans for the Tepaphone, which I built several years prior, and re-engineered everything using modern electronics and making it even more ergonomic than it was back in the old days when I was building these things. And so as a result of that, I did a little testing of this, got fantastic results from everybody. I even sent you my latest generation of Tepaphone, or one of my latest generations, sent that to you. You got fantastic results, and we've just been doing the result, or the feedback we're getting from the Tepaphone.com has just been fantastic. And so, like I said earlier, I have OCD. I can't leave good enough alone. I want to go that next level. And also, because of that, I had did my research, and I have an old machine, which I think you probably saw over in Asheville, and it's about 125 years old now. It's 100 years old. And if you look inside of it, it has these Christmas lights that goes around the sample, and or look like Christmas lights. They're multicolored lights. And I said, okay, I have basically a Tepaphone, or a Tepaphone type technology, and they call it chromotherapy back in the olden days. And so what I did was take that along with what I was doing now, and just redevelop everything and go to the next level, which is what we have now, which is what we have now with this wonderful color light device. And here's the thing, and I hate to be kind of cryptic here, but this thing was designed and used for well-being.
Okay, so now you have your newest innovation, a type of Tepaphone that we call the Chakra Spectraphone. Now, what is that?
Okay, what it is, it has three lights. It has red, blue, and green, and it just so happens that these are the same color. You'll see these colors if you look up close on a color TV. They're the primary colors that then if they're used in combination, they cover the entire spectrum of color. I think it's like 14 million plus different combinations. And what we're able to do here radionically, or we're able to take these dials and adjust them for a particular situation. I did an example in a video that I did for you about anxiety, for example. Just to help with anxiety, nothing more, just mental well-being. And so what I did was I came up with a target. I came up with the proper energy signature that I wanted to project to that target to help with their anxiety. And all I simply did is put these two samples on the copper plate, and I would tune this device as I would any other radionics device, using the clear plastic plate as a stick plate. And as you turn that dial, you will notice that the light will start to glow. And then you'll go to the next dial and you will turn it, and it will glow to a certain color. And as these two mix, you will have different colors. Then you go to the third one to finish this off. And once you do this, then you have the final color radionically that needs to be projected toward that target to help with anxiety. And so after this is done, you simply take the thing that represents the target, or the person that you're trying to project this energy toward. You take that, put that on top of the clear plastic plate, let the light project onto it, and let it do its job. And usually this technology, depending on the situation, takes a few days. But there's ways of showing how to time this and figure out how long this energy needs to be projected toward the target.
Okay, and to be clear now, this is not any kind of a medical device, but this is a device that it does tap into the tradition of focusing on different chakras of the body in order to increase one's happiness and wellness.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. And you can, and basically with just these three knobs, you can create virtually any color in the world, right? Any color that the human eye can see, right?
Correct. I think it's an overstatement, but it's just say there's more than we can imagine. And I understand completely what you're saying there. But this thing, I have noticed that the results has just been fantastic. Would you like me to give an example of one of the first experiments we used with this type of technology?
Yes, please do.
Okay. I'm good friends with a military officer at a major military base. I wanted to maintain their anonymity here. So,
okay, so back from this break, you will hear this remarkable story about this incredible success that was achieved using this device. And then we're going to switch gears a little bit. I have just learned about a new cryptid, and I think this was particularly interesting because there's actually a real body involved here. A real policeman shot a real creature, and, well, you'll hear that story. Have you ever heard of the Loveland Frogman? What do you think? Does the Frogman sound like a cute and cuddly cryptid, or a terrifying thing that might come creeping out of the bushes at night? I'm Joshua P. Warren. You're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I'll be back after these important messages.
Time for a sofa upgrade? Introducing Anabe sofas.
friends with a military officer at a major
Protect our forests from fires.
Keeping the forest fires.
Stress and leaks, and say hello to aunties that work just as hard as you do.
Again, that's just an example. I'll give you another example. I had a good friend of mine who had relatives in another country, and they used this technology to project a certain, good healing energy toward this individual because they were basically non-responsive to all the medications, and they didn't know what to do. They were desperate. So they went ahead and tuned this machine for that individual, and apparently the medications, the therapy that was being used took hold, and they were able to recover. And it's just like a little way of just again, this was from a remote location where they were doing this. I think it was somewhere in South America. And so this is another example of what can be done with these wonderful machines.
And so basically by manipulating and fine-tuning the color, you can really use this for virtually any type of issue or problem, whether it may be something on the physical plane or the spiritual plane or the mental plane. The idea is that the universe is all made up of light, basically, and that you can send whatever light to whatever issue you need to deal with. And so, let's say, for example, Brad, Dr. Mulder, if you see a red traffic light, you stop. If you see a green traffic light, you go. You can use infrared to see invisible phenomena all around us, and ultraviolet to kill harmful microorganisms. And so, bearing that kind of thing in mind, how do you feel about the relationship between the color of light and how we can use it to shape our lives for the better?
Well, again, each color has its own frequency, and in turn will have a different influence on the physical or spiritual or psychological nature of reality. And so, again, it's a case-by-case basis. Some people, red will stimulate something. For others, a very cool violet or bluish color will calm the situation. Just the change of frequencies, for example. And I think you're right. It's already triggered into our subconscious, into our consciousness, what certain colors mean to us, whether they mean safety or whether they mean danger. And so, and again, I think it's just part of the human, the human element. For example, the one color that we were able to best recognize or see different shades of is green. We're able to see, out of all the colors on the spectrum, green is by far the easiest for us to focus on and to differentiate from other shades of green. And the reason is because of survival. We had to know, is there a predator behind that tree? Is there a predator behind that bush? And because of that, we're able to differentiate the color green and look at other colors or other hues within the vegetation